there was a swimmer called Chad le Clos. I think he was South African. I could be wrong on that, but he was competing against Michael Phelps. And there was a moment in that race where le Clos looked sideways to see where he was at compared to Phelps. He was close. He was very close. But you know what? Phelps won that race by a fingernail, by a fraction of a second. And it's always had me thinking, might le Clos have won it had he not been looking across the other lane and going, where's he at? Where am I at compared to him? Every day, every hour, every time you get caught up comparing where you're at with where someone else is at is a day, an hour, time that you are not focusing on making the very most of where you're at, of doing the very best you can with your talents, with your energy, with your resources, with your contacts. Welcome to the Live Brave podcast. I'm Margie Warrell. Here you'll learn how to live and lead with more courage in an increasingly anxious world. If you'd love to bring your bravest self to your biggest challenges and the boldest vision for your life, you are in the right place. Let's get started. We live in a competitive world, and the devices we hold in our hands often stoke comparison. But the fact is, no one on this planet of 8 billion people have your unique set of talents and skills and hard-won wisdom. No one is positioned to make the impact that you can make where you can make it. And so be careful that you don't get pulled into the comparison trap. Comparing your insides with other people's highlight reel, comparing where you're at with other people who've been at it for longer, comparing your weaknesses with their strengths, comparing where you're at with some idealized version of where you think you're supposed to be at. All of that siphons your creativity, your energy. It keeps you from running your own best race. Your race, your lane, your pace. What would you be doing more of today if you were running your own best race? I just dropped a podcast on this. I hope you'll take a listen. Hello and welcome back to the Live Brave podcast. I'm Margie Warrell. I'm glad you're with me today. And if you're brand new to this podcast, well, I'm just really glad you found it. We live in a competitive world, and every day, every moment when we pick up our devices, we're being pummeled with images and news of the lives around us. And it's hard not to find yourself comparing where you're at with where other people are at. It is a competitive world, but we actually compete the best when we aren't spending our time and our energy looking over at what other people are doing and where they are in their lane, and rather we focus on running our own best race. Today's episode is on how you can run your own best race, and in particular, how you can pull yourself out of and avoid even getting into that comparison trap. Because I know myself, it's so easy to get pulled into negative comparisons. There was research done back in the 1950s, social comparison theory, that found that this is just an innately human thing to do. So if you find yourself comparing where you're at, whether it's comparing your home, comparing your career, comparing your kids, comparing your wealth or your social life or your vacations or your education, I mean, the list is endless, with anyone else, just know you're not a bad person. You're just human. It is very human to find yourself comparing with other people. So this isn't to shame you because you get caught in comparisons. Now, if you're someone who goes, I never compare myself to anybody else, I would say more power to you. Maybe this podcast is not even for you, or not today's one, but chances are you do find yourself in that spot. And maybe if it's not to other people, maybe your comparisons are to the idealized version of yourself, or to the life that you feel like you should be living, to where you should be at by now at this point in your career, at this point on your journey. I shouldn't be in this spot. I shouldn't be struggling like this. And to that, I would say, what if where you are right now isn't behind? It's actually exactly where you need to be to learn what it is you need to learn for the next chapter of your journey ahead. And learning how to manage your tendency to comparisons may be a part of that. Theodore Roosevelt once said, comparison is the thief of joy. I think that's absolutely true, but it goes far beyond that. One of my favorite quotes by Albert Einstein is that everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its entire life believing it's stupid. So you have your own strengths. You have your own talents. You also happen to have been born in a situation and had opportunities that are different to other people's. And so when you compare where you're at with where other people are at, just maybe it was the moment in history you were born. Maybe it was the family into which you were born. Maybe it was the country to which you were born. And you've spent a lot of your life just getting to where you are. And other people, they seem to start where you are right now. And as I said in my last podcast, no, life is not fair. Life is not just. Bad things happen. People disappoint you. Plans derail. This is all true. But comparing your lot in life, the crosses that you have to bear, the hardships that you've had to handle, the disappointment, the betrayal, the difficulties with other people's lives who seem like everything just falls into place again, does not serve you. So, how can you run your own best race? There are so many different ways that we can compare. We compare our weaknesses with other people's strengths. And man, oh man, have I done that so many times. The fact is, I am not the most structured person in the world. I do not have a system for everything. And at times, I know that's worked against me. I know at times it would help me if I was far more disciplined and structured and systematic. But there's this part of me that just craves flexibility and autonomy and freedom. I love going where the spirit moves me. I hate the idea that here's your 50 podcasts for the next year. This is the one you have to do today. I'm like, no, right now, I've been thinking a lot about comparison. And so hence I want to do a podcast on comparison. So for you, don't compare your weaknesses with other people's strengths, because chances are there's people who look at you and think, oh, I wished I could be a little bit more like them. And thank God for the diversity in the world. Thank God everybody is not like me. My husband will probably say, yes, that's very true. My kids probably will too. Thank God everybody's not like me. But thank goodness I have the strengths that I bring to the world. And thank goodness that you have the strengths that you bring to the world. So just be very careful about making the comparison of what you're not good at with what other people are brilliant at, or what you haven't yet mastered, because you're just starting out with what other people have been doing for years. Likewise, don't compare your insides with other people's outsides. Your raw, messy reality with other people's highlight reels. I can tell you, I don't post my really crappy days on Instagram. I don't post the days when I'm just feeling completely like a mess, when I have not got anything together. And yeah, I'd like to think I don't have too many of those days, but the reality is that people don't share all of their worst struggles with everybody. Usually it's with a select few. Yet often we get online and we look at other people's curated, perfect, altogether lives and we go, oh my gosh, I'm just paddling furiously underwater. So just be careful. Don't compare your blooper reel with their highlight reel, your insides with other people's outsides. Likewise, don't compare yourself with the idealized version of who you think you're supposed to be. We always come up short against that idealized version of who we're supposed to be. If you were perfect, you wouldn't be. Let me say that again. If you were perfect, you wouldn't be. You are fallible. You are vulnerable to the lower impulses of human nature and to all of the temptations and the fears and anxieties of the world around you. Your inner environment, your outer environment, they often throw you off putting your best foot forward, playing your best game, running your best race. This is what it is to be human. And when you can embrace your fallibility, but own your flawsomeness, it liberates you from all of the shame and the negative judgment that would siphon your creative energy, that would keep you from bringing the best of what you have to bring to the people around you, to the work that you care about, and to the future that you want to create. You may remember back, I think it was the 2008 Olympics. I could be wrong on that. But there was a swimmer called Chad le Clos. I think he was South African. I could be wrong on that. But he was competing against Michael Phelps. And there was a moment in that race where le Clos looked sideways to see where he was at compared to Phelps. He was close. He was very close. But you know what? Phelps won that race by a fingernail, by a fraction of a second. And it's always had me thinking, might le Clos have won it had he not been looking across the other lane and going, where's he at? Where am I at compared to him? Likewise for you. Every day, every hour, every time you get caught up comparing where you're at with where someone else is at, is a day, an hour, time that you are not focusing on making the very most of where you're at, of doing the very best you can with your talents, with your energy, with your resources, with your contacts, with your ideas. So I think of it a little bit like social responsibility. If you care about being socially responsible, then realize that you're violating your values when you spend a lot of time in comparison because you're not using the gifts that you have for the greater good. Somewhere in the Bible, don't ask me where it is, there's a parable about a master who gives his servants talents. And talents, as you might know, were what they called coins back in those biblical days. And, one guy buries it in the dirt. One guy goes out and does something with it and comes back. He's got 3 or 5 talents. Another guy comes back and he has 10 talents. And you might think, well, the guy that buried it in the dirt, it was a good thing for him to do because he was wanting to make sure no one stole it. He didn't lose it. But the parable goes that the master goes, hey, you who brought back 10 talents, well done. Well, you have talents too. You have a unique set of talents. You have a unique set of skills and experience and hard-won wisdom. You have a unique set of opportunities. There is people that you can connect to, that you can serve, that you can help, that you can bring value to, that I can't. People who will be worse off if you aren't doing the very best you can with the talents that you have. And if you're looking across at that person over there and what they're doing with their talents, and hey, in a world where some people seem to invest their money and make $1 billion, you might go, well, I want to know what they're doing with their talents because they made $1 billion last year and I didn't make that. Sure, there is something to be said for studying the best practices of what others are doing so that we can learn, so that we can be smarter with the talents that we have. But there is a distinct difference between spending time understanding best practice, skilling up, learning things that you don't know that will help you make more with what you have, than obsessing about where you're at with where somebody else is at. Years ago, I was invited to Necker Island with Richard Branson and a group of entrepreneurs. There were people there who were extraordinarily successful. And I'm saying this with air quotes if you are listening to this, because, yeah, some of them had made a few $1 billion. Some had sold their business recently for $450 million. There was extraordinary entrepreneurs. There was extraordinary business people, thinkers. The guy who created WordPress, Matt Mullenweg, was there. The founders of Dermalogica, Jane and Ray Werwind, beautiful, beautiful people. They were there. It was easy to find yourself comparing with others and feeling like you were coming up pretty short. Marianne Williamson was there. You may or may not be familiar with Marianne Williamson. In more recent years, she has been very active in political spheres and has twice run as a presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. But prior to her really getting passionate and immersed in the field of politics, she wrote a book called A Return to Love that I read probably 25 years ago. She also wrote a poem that you may be familiar with, which Nelson Mandela read at his inauguration, about our deepest fear. Now, Marianne is someone I had looked up to for a long time. Her books have sold in the millions. And when I met her, I found myself immediately going into negative comparison. She asked me, "Hello, who are you? What do you do?" And I said, "Oh, I'm an author, but not an author like you. I'm just like just a small author, just small, And I don't know what I said. I blundered over my words, trying to make sure she knew that I was definitely not in her league as an author. She looked at me square in the eyes and said in a way that was equal warmth but sternness, "Margie, there is nothing holy in diminishing yourself. There is nothing holy in diminishing yourself. Every time we compare our talents to their talents, we diminish ourselves. So what can you do about it? How do you run your own best race?" Well, here are 5 things that you can do. Number 1, don't make yourself wrong for comparing. Start with self-compassion. Of course I'm comparing. I'm human. We never better ourselves by shaming ourselves. 2, recognize your bias. Am I comparing my insides with their outsides? My weaknesses with their strengths, where I'm at starting out with where they're at, having been on this path for a long time? Remember, every life has an underbelly that you can't see. Audit your triggers. Ask yourself, what is it that triggers me into comparison? I'll tell you what, for me, it is on my phone, scrolling Instagram, usually Instagram, but it could be LinkedIn or it could be Facebook. I mean, heck, it doesn't take a lot of scrolling to see people doing things that I'm not doing, selling millions of books that I haven't sold. So for you, if your feed leaves you deflated, that's data. It is not personal failure. Curate your inputs the way you would curate your diet or your sleep. Set boundaries on things and don't keep feeding on more of what triggers insecurity and inadequacy in comparison. 4, own your envy. The emotions that we don't own are going to own us. And number 5, track yourself against yourself. Come back to who it is you are as a human. Wayne Dyer once said, true nobility isn't being better than anybody else. It's being a little bit better than you used to be. Some days I'm not actually better than I was yesterday. In fact, every now and again, I have a patch where I feel like I've gone backwards, sometimes by a few years. But if you embrace your own humanity, own your fallibility, forgive the unfinished version of yourself that's still a work in progress, it allows you to learn the lessons, to pick yourself back up faster, to move forward more wisely. Remember Le Clos. He glanced across and he lost. Now, might he have lost anyway? Who knows? But for you, what more might you be doing if you didn't get pulled into negative comparisons? Emerson once said, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. So don't judge your calling, don't judge your journey, don't judge your talents against anyone else's metrics. Remember, if a fish judged itself by its ability to climb a tree, it would think it was an idiot. Rather, run your own best race and throw off everything that is hindering you from doing that. And when you fall, be kind to yourself, pick yourself up, and get back into your lane. So I'm just curious, what is one comparison or one imagined standard or one idealized version of you that you're ready to throw off so that you can run your own best race a little more lightly, a little more freely? I suggest you write it down. Your race, your pace, your lane, run it with whatever you have. Do the best you have with what you have, not to prove your worth, but because you've already got it. I'll see you again next week.